Hello and welcome to a special expert interview. I'm really excited because I'm here with Eunice, and she's going to be giving some tips on how to get the most out of your Facebook groups when you're marketing your online business. I'm Gina Decker, and I am a tech coach. And I always like to make technology fun and easy. So if you're uneasy around technology, we're just going to share a few things that might make things nicer for you. So today we're going to focus all about Facebook groups and how you can grow your business that way. I'm going to read off Eunice's bio, and then we'll launch into a few questions. Very, very grateful that you are spending some time with us today, Eunice.
Good to be here.
Yes. All right. So Eunice, if you're not familiar with her, she is the founder of the Thriving Business Owners Facebook group, which focuses on networking, promotion, business growth for entrepreneurs. By joining her group, you can learn online marketing success strategies and connect with entrepreneurs and business owners who are sharing ideas and supporting each other on their journey. In this group, you can promote what you do, ask questions, give advice, share resources, build relationships, and grow a successful online business. So please help me welcome Eunice Nisbett. And I am so happy that you are here today.
Oh, thank you, Gina. It's good of you to have me, and thank you for your wonderful introduction. It's good to be here.
Yes. So let's jump right into this because I know that people are eager to hear what you have to say. So the first question I have is, why would you want to start a free Facebook group?
Because Facebook is where people are. Simple. If you just think of your friends, most of your friends you connect with are on Facebook. Most entrepreneurs on Facebook. Whoever you serve, most likely they're on Facebook. And you added something that's so important. It is free.
Yes, absolutely. And as small business owners, we love having free resources for our business. Now, where are you located in the world that you can share with our
I'm in the Caribbean. I'm in the Caribbean, on the island of St. Kitts. So I'm a long way away from many of my clients. But the beauty of technology is that we can meet, we can communicate, and we can create community, which is what Facebook groups are about. And even the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, says that Facebook groups is where the focus is right now. So if you start a Facebook group, you're doing the right thing.
Well, I absolutely agree. And I know Facebook has changed their algorithm in recent years. And so it used to be easier to get visibility from your Facebook page and not have a group. But now Facebook has more of an emphasis on interactions with people and commenting versus just posting a little bit of information. So I love that you are connecting with people all over the world in your business.
Thank you. And while pages still have their uses, groups are where you can go to actually get your warm audience. And I always say to my clients that the foundation of all your marketing is knowing who you serve and knowing them well. Once you get to know who your dream clients are, then Facebook is the place where you can create a container and bring them all into one space.
Well said, well said. And let's go on to our next question, which is, how do you get clients from Facebook? I know that a lot of people have groups and some of them just kind of die because there's not a lot of interaction, or maybe people get discouraged if they start a group and they never really get a client from it. So how do you get clients from Facebook?
It takes patience, Gina, it does. And sometimes we stop when we're just 3 feet short of gold, you know, because if you keep trying and trying, at some point you feel like, this is not working, I'm giving up. And maybe just at that point you're about to give up, you could have been gaining that one client who could have got you started. Sometimes too, people get discouraged because they look at large groups and they think, oh, I've got to get my group to 20,000 to 10,000 people for me to be able to start making an income from Facebook groups. But that's not so. There are different ways to monetize it. And the beauty of it is the connections that you make as you have your group. You make so many connections, and then you can use those connections now to help you grow your biz, to get referrals, to get more people into your group, to become a speaker elsewhere. So it opens a way for you in so many different formats and ways.
Well, thank you so much for that tip. And I see one of my colleagues, Ellen Finkelstein, coming in here. Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Ellen.
We'll just catch you up. We're doing a nice little lunch meeting here with tips on how to get the most.
That's why I'm late. I'm late. I was eating lunch. I apologize, and I have to leave at the top of the hour, but I'm interested in the topic, so.
Okay,
yes. Well, specifically, we're talking about how to get engagement from your groups on Facebook, how to make it kind of a warm, fuzzy atmosphere so that people really get to know each other versus these large groups that you get into, never really get to know anybody. So Eunice, I see, kind of has a talent for getting good rapport with her people in her Facebook groups. So we covered a little bit about why start a group for free. I know, Ellen, you've already got a group that has a lot of people in it. So it's grown over the years. So congratulations. You want to share your success?
Well, we just hit 1,000 members. So yeah. And I'm doing like a big bash this week, like a little celebration. And I'm having, it's sort of like a sweepstakes. You know, every day people just have to put a comment about what they're working on, what's next in their business. And I'm giving 2 people who comment, giving away 2 prizes. One is a $25 Amazon gift and the other is a product of mine, you know, whatever it'll be. Yeah, so I want to hear your ideas, Eunice. Sorry, I missed some.
Okay, great. What has worked for you, Ellen?
What has worked for me?
Yes, because are you able to sell in your group?
So I would say that that's the thing that works least, is converting it to cash, and that would be the area that you know, I've been thinking about it and working on some things. I don't really want to go the route of picking up on somebody's comment and then messaging them and like going to a one-on-one kind of sales conversation. I don't really want to do a lot of one-on-one sales conversations. So, and I do put offers in there, but I never know whether I get sales from it or not. So that's another thing. I don't have a good tracking system. So my assistant takes offers that I put in my emails and she puts them in Facebook. And I would say overall, the thing that's worked, because the group has grown by itself. Like I invite my subscribers to join. I do a Facebook Live every Tuesday, and I invite every Tuesday I say, come, come and join. But I don't like go out and individually invite people to join the group or anything. So it's kind of grown by itself. But I don't, so there are these offers in there, but I don't know if people buy. I don't know that it's them. So it's also hard for me to evaluate.
All right. So here's a question for you, Ellen. And Gina, I hope you don't mind if I think this is a good way to go since Ellen is right here. Ellen, what's the name of your group?
It's called Change the World Marketing.
Okay, so it's marketing. It's changeable marketing. Who is it for?
It's for people. My target market is people who have knowledge that they want to share with the world. They want to create online products or online courses. So knowledge-based information products. And I help them through a process of creating an online business around those products.
Okay, so your audience is similar to mine. One of the things I help my clients to see and realize is the foundation of all your marketing is being crystal clear as to who you want to serve. Yes. And sometimes we hear it so often that we, just dismiss it. We say, know your dream client, know your dream client. And a lot of people just say, maybe that's just trendy, but it's not trendy, because once you know who you're serving and you can pinpoint exactly who it is, then even your Facebook group name will speak to those people. And
Yeah.
the other thing, your Facebook group is not about you, but about the people who are in there. So that is how we create community. So, and then there's a way to introduce your products and your offers so that people come in who are already in your group, are interested in what you do, and therefore your offers are just what they need. Okay, so one of the first things that people get when they join my group is my dream client template, which helps them to really clarify who is it I'm serving and what are their needs, so they specifically, and what do they want? And so that is why my next program I'm going to do, my Monetize Your Facebook group, I'm going to focus too on people who, even if you have a small group, because even 1,000, my group is small and growing, but even with a small group, you can monetize once you take the correct steps.
So
in
what
launching your offers, in getting them onto your list and all of that.
So I have questions that they have to fill out when they sign up, and
Okay.
I ask them, I give them the opportunity to give me their email address. They don't have
Okay.
to. And I do get people that way. So I would say I get around 5 people a week
Okay.
onto my list because they put their email in there.
All right. Let me ask you, I stick it right at this one. What are you offering them?
I'm offering them something called 13 Steps to a Successful Online Business.
Oh, okay. 13 steps to a successful online business. Are you capturing what their challenge is at that point?
No. And in fact, that's exactly kind of what I'm doing now with this this 5-day 1,000K bash, is I'm asking them to put in the comments, what is their next step? What are they up to? What are they working on? I didn't write it as a challenge, but I just said, what's your next step? And I gave some examples: list building, copywriting, content creation, what is it that you're working on right now? And that's, what they might need help with right now. Don't know how I'm going to actually capture that. I'm open to ideas about, should I copy and paste all the comments into a spreadsheet and then contact them individually? What should I do?
And monitor. But you see, the information is not just to contact them individually. The information will help you know who's in your group and what their needs are. So that if you tally it, then you'll be able to say, oh, because sometimes what we're selling is not what your group is needing.
Yeah. I would say that my free offer was created before, I've changed my focus a little bit in the sense, I think yeah. So it doesn't really, it's relevant to them, it's these steps that my target market needs to take, but it doesn't necessarily inspire them to get their knowledge out to the world, which is a little more of what my focus is right now, rather than just like the nitty gritty of starting an online business. So those are slightly different.
Okay. So then, because you want to look at what's the next step with you after they get that freebie.
Oh, so after they get that freebie, there are autoresponders, and there's certainly an upsell to my membership program called Reach the Stars Club. I'd have to look at the autoresponders and see exactly what it is, but it's a kind of long set of autoresponders where I give them more information about each of the 13 steps. So I'm doing a lot of educating. I will look at that. So
right. So look at your next step. And Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind.
Yes.
So look at your customer journey. Where do you want to take them? So as the end, and work back as to what steps they need to take so that you can get them where you want them to be.
Yeah.
So for instance, if you're doing a particular offer, so for instance, even what you're working on, as your celebration, it should be geared towards your next offer.
So I don't have like a next offer. I have almost all of my, I mean, I do events sometimes, but I would say most of my offers are evergreen. You know, they're either self-study products or self-study courses or products. So, but I can lead them to a product that's appropriate to what they say they need. Yes, I can do that. Right. You went on mute.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. So sorry about that. So you focus on one that you want to get them to, and you work back. What is the steps? What do I need them to do to get them to there?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So even for your sign up, is that connected to your next step? And is it converting? So when people take that first sign up, and are they taking the next step with you?
Yeah. Again, I don't have good tracking in terms of, so when people, that free offer, which is the free offer on my home page, and I mean, I haven't, and my Facebook group, I don't have a good way of knowing who came from which place. So if, you know, it doesn't convert better for some people or for other people. I mean, I would say in general, it's because now that's $197 a month membership program. I certainly don't get a lot of conversion at the beginning, you know.
Okay, right.
It might take some nurturing, you know,
to get a person. That's right. That's what. That's the point of beginning with the end in mind. Because if I've signed up for something from you, will I then sign up for $197 monthly just after signing up for something from you? Or is there something smaller that I could sign into just to experience you at a deeper level?
Yes.
And then after that, so my next step after that now would be that $197 membership.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look at the autoresponders and see what I do there.
Yes.
Yeah, I have lots of intermediate stuff. So it's not that that's a hard thing to do, but I'll have to look at exactly what I do. Yeah.
Right. So then you can decide what would be the easiest next step after that person has given me their email address.
I do have like what's called a tripwire for that. So it's $1. It's an easy next step. So that PDF, which is the 13 steps to a successful online business, comes with also 4 videos. So that I actually throw a lot of stuff at them. And then I have a $1 upsell where they get the PDFs of those videos, so they don't have to spend the time going through the videos.
Okay. Well, here, pause, Ellen. Could you have instead just given them that thing up front, and then the next step would be that $1 would include the videos and the PDF?
Oh, I see. Okay. So why do you think that's better?
Because on the front, you wouldn't want to overwhelm the person with information.
Okay. That
Maybe
will require
something
me
simple.
changing a lot of images that are all over the place that have pictures of the videos, but yeah, okay.
Well, you could also kind of add to, you know, after they buy that $1 PDF, you could have, like, if it's too difficult to change up a lot of things, you could just add some additional like secrets or something, like
something
3 more videos of secrets that are really captivating or something.
Well, but the idea of not overwhelming people, I mean, the people that that doesn't convert terribly well. I mean, maybe I sell 4 or 5 of those a month, you know, which is $4 or $5 a month. That's
yeah. And I mean, but $1 work. But sometimes if you put something that's a little valuable, because I find my Jumpstart Your Facebook group converts very well after my template.
Oh, so
I have a set of videos.
Okay, right.
Which I had done as a challenge. So I now sell that at $7.
Okay.
So after the person gets that template,
Right.
then they get the Jumpstart Your Facebook group
Okay.
videos, and that's $7.
Okay.
And that converts. I recently looked at it because now I want to use my client clarity videos as the next step for them. And then from there, take them to the Facebook groups. So it's something that you can work at, but you need to look at carefully what is converting for you.
Yeah, no, I know. Right.
And is it the no-brainer next step?
Right, right.
Now, the thing is, your first step, the value of your first step must not be more than the $1 product you're offering them for the second step.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I think the value of the $1 thing is that it saves them time so that they don't have to go through all of the videos. So, you know, there's a value of it. But the idea of not including the videos up front, you know, I mean, I think I could do more with that. Okay.
So play with it and see. So that but it's the idea of having a clear path and of where you want to take the person to and what is needed to take them from one step so that they have the desire for the next step.
Right. It's hard. That sounds easy, but you know.
What will help you, and Ellen, what will help you is getting that information from them as to what the challenges are.
Right.
Because then you'll know exactly what do I offer. So
Right.
why I offer my dream client template is because most of the people who come into my space, their challenge is getting clients online.
Okay.
Attracting people who they love to work with.
So it's mostly like coaches.
I do coaches, I do business owners, other business owners too, like salon people into those. I find I'm attracting a lot of people who are into salons and those things, and I like working with them.
Cool.
Yes, but I do work with coaches and authors too, because I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. So one of the things I have done is work with authors so that they can take their book to bestsellers and market their books. So I still have that love for working with authors. So they're welcome in my group too.
So I hate to do this, but I have a client coming up in 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry to go. This has been very helpful, Eunice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I will be sending out a replay as well.
Okay,
so
right.
You'll get to see the rest.
Right. And even before you leave, Ellen, the other thing is your group name.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to relook at your group name. So if you'd like us to have a free session sometime where we can look at it.
It's hard for me to rechange it because that's the name of my website. It's like everywhere. But I could do like a tagline or something like that. And I'm sure I'll take you up on a free session. Sure.
Yes. Because
Gina will give you my email address.
Yes. And the thing is, your name of your group does not have to be the same name as your business, because remember, your group is about your people.
Yeah. But they want to change the world. I mean, I think it's good for my people. They kind of want to make the world a better place. They want to get their knowledge out to the world. They feel they have something valuable that'll help people. And I chose the name because those are the people I wanted to work with, you know.
Yes.
So I think the name works, but it might not be specific enough. Well, you know, I might be able to add something or whatever.
Right.
You could have a
so that when you
speak,
right. So when you speak, they know you're speaking to me.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome to join my group and see some of the techniques that I use.
Okay, I'll look for Gina's email on that.
Okay.
Yes, I'll put it in the replay.
Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Very good. Very interesting discussion. So thank you so much, because I love when we can kind of go off the beaten path and really address something that's top of mind for a business owner. And I know Ellen, I've known her for years, and also she's a very talented technical writer, which probably not everybody knows about her, but she has a very good grasp about the online business world and how it works. So let's circle back to what keeps people engaged. You talked about like those questions? Do you have questions when people first join your group that they have to answer before they get into your group, or is it just open that anybody can get in?
No, I have questions. People need to answer the questions to access my group.
And what are the questions? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I asked, I think I asked how long you've been in business. There are 3 questions that I asked. But for me, even the key for me is asking another set of questions when they enter in the group.
Right. So when they enter, so we're talking about engagement. When they enter, do you welcome them manually? I know that groups, I have a public group, but then Facebook changed how public groups work very recently. They allow people who aren't members of the group to see some of the things that happen in the group. So it kind of advertises you for free, but at the same time, you can't filter out the spammers.
And it takes away the community, Gina.
Yes.
It takes away the level of community because people do not feel as free to express themselves. So if it's a community you want to create, then a private group that's visible is best.
Very good. So when you first engage with them, they join, do you do like a welcome post with everybody? Do you just kind of look through the recent, there's like a members tab in your group. Do you just kind of do that manually, or what's your process to welcome people?
Once the person comes in, Facebook actually notifies you that you have some new members. So I use that post to welcome them in and ask a few questions so that they can introduce themselves to the group if they'd like, and others can welcome them to the group.
Perfect. So once they're welcomed, how do you keep them engaged? I know that you have posts very regularly where you ask a question or you get them to engage. So you get them to engage versus I see a lot of other groups, even by large, successful entrepreneurs that you would think of, but there's almost no engagement. Like you go to their group and then like it's all kind of like a lecture from the instructor at the head of the class, and they're giving tips, but there's nothing that they ask you to do. So you're like, okay, that's a good tip. And then you move on. And so you kind of just scroll through and you get to another group. But yours usually gets me to stop and kind of think about, can I answer this quickly? Should I type a comment? So what's your strategy for engaging within the group once they're in?
It's also knowing your audience. Again, that's why I go back and I start people off with knowing their dream clients, because once you know your people, then you kind of get an idea, what do I ask? So most times I will put out a question every day that is not difficult to answer, something simple, and that will engage people. It may be related to business because mine is a business group, or it may just be like a trivia that just keeps people engaged. And so many people go with Motivational Monday, Tip Tuesday, and so on. What I do is I use a combination of both. And as I train my clients, I help them to discern how they can do that. So it takes a particular strategy. However, you will need to look at engaging the group with brief questions that people can just come in, quickly answer, because Facebook loves engagement. So when you can generate that level of engagement in your group, then your group becomes more visible.
Yeah, well, I love that you add a little bit of variety, because when I first started my group, I was just starting it. I don't know if I had a specific end goal in mind, but I came up with a Monday post, a Tuesday post, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So
I've been there.
It got old after a while. Like I could schedule it in advance, but the only ones that actively still get engagement are the promotion Thursdays and the freebie Fridays. So the other ones I vary up sometimes, but of course, I'm busy, so I can't always think of, so I have probably at least for the next 30 days, a little prompt that I wrote in advance in my planning. Okay, let's do a tip on this or whatever, share a tip on this day, just to give them a little bit more variety, because I think my posts just after a while got really boring for my group. So they stopped, they stopped replying.
What you have to remember for Facebook group, your key is engagement. People will come back if they feel engaged, if they're being heard. If you ask for advice, for instance, people love to give advice, you know, so you really ask, what do your people want to talk about? Do they want to give advice? Or, you know, they love the promo. So you have your promo days for sure. However, I try to vary my promo days a bit as to what I ask, you know, so I vary that, but I know I have 2 promo days. So that makes it easier for my promo days for me to schedule that. Right. And then the other days, I have mentally what I call the other days, but I don't just post the same thing. I think of something that's spicy. I call them my spice it up posts that people will engage with. And I use those to blend in with my promo posts. And of course, I host a giveaway now and again so that people can even get more engaged, and bring in speakers. Again, it goes back to knowing what your people want. So you bring in speakers that are relevant to your audience and their needs and their challenges.
Yes, and for our audience who's maybe listening to the replay, that's how I originally got introduced to Eunice, because she asked me to be a speaker on technical subject. So that was very good, because I could tell that your group was not one of these like dormant groups that was out there. I could tell that you actually actively spent time in there, that the other members in there were engaged. So what made you originally start your free private group?
What happened is, I had used Facebook groups before, like I had asked sometimes if you have a group you've trained, you create a group for them. Okay, and I still do that. If I have a particular program, there will be a private Facebook group. However, when you have a large group, that is where actually all your dream clients come. So that is why it's so important for you to know who your group is for, and then bring those people. That's what a Facebook group does. It brings your people into a space, a container, where you can now interact with them, where you can now share your offers, where you get to know them, and where you help them grow together. So that's it. So that is what made me grow my Facebook group. And of course, I've had training, because I saw the potential of Facebook groups. I've had training, but what I've realized is maybe what works for me may not work for someone else, and that it's a combination. So I've had different Facebook groups training, and I've created like a blend of what works for me and my group. Okay, so that people can be helped, and they can grow their groups in turn. And then you can monetize your group. So that is what happens. And it's also about community, people having a space, and people with similar interests having a space. And the beauty of groups is what happens behind the scenes, the connections that people make behind the scenes of Facebook groups. So, and when people feel that you've enabled them to make connections to help them grow, that gives them confidence in you and establishes you as an expert. So that's one of the other reasons why I encourage people to do their own private, create your own private Facebook group. And once you have your group, Gina, then your efforts are not all over the place. Your focus, your work is within your group.
Yes, yes. And I can definitely tell that you're focused on your group from the type of posts that you post, and also the interaction, the people who comment. So you did mention briefly you have smaller groups, private groups for your students or clients who are learning something specific from you. So how is that different in your strategy? Do you still post engagement posts, or do you have something else? Or is it really just whenever you have a replay to share with them? How is your strategy different with your paid groups?
With the paid groups, they're there for the duration of the program. And people can come back there if they're all in that program and want to ask a question. However, they will also be part of the main Facebook group. So that group is really active for the duration of the program.
Right. And do you have a cutoff date for your paid groups? Do you have them end at a certain time, or do they just go continuously because they're like they've already bought something for you, so from you, so you might still keep it open? What's your strategy?
I keep it, yeah, it depends on the program, but I'd keep it open so that people, if they want to go back there and ask a question, they can. However, they know that the main group is the group that's up to date and where they can find all sorts of information. So all my guides, all my previous interviews and everything is right there in the main group.
Right.
Because most people would have come from the main group already into that small group for the paid program.
So when a client or potential client, a lead, is from your group and they are finally ready to work with you, how do they typically reach out to you?
It could be through the DM, right? Because already they have that connection with me. So the person will send a DM, or I may reach out to them by a DM if the person asks a question. But remember, I'm also making my offers in the Facebook group. So when people pick up offers, then they automatically come.
Yeah, and I like that you don't necessarily have a prescribed way that you direct message them. Like I've heard previously, there are other business owners who, I think my tech guru colleague, Rob Goyette, he was talking about other business owners sometimes use Facebook with those questions that they first answer in the beginning goes into a spreadsheet, and then there's a very set sequence that they go through. So based on how they answered this, they might be asked to do a 15-minute conversation right away off the bat. And then and so you're always direct messaging people, as they are just getting to know you and joining the group. And to me, that doesn't resonate with me just because I feel like I'm bugging people. And I also think that it's kind of a spammy thing to do. I get that a lot on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. I sometimes will let somebody follow me and then they immediately direct message me and like, is this a real account? That's always what goes through my mind. Like, how do you kind of like get that balance between like spamming them with your offers versus like actually getting to know them?
What I would do is once the person signs up for my template, that takes them out of Facebook into my world. And so if I'm running something in the group, I will notify them that something is running in the group. I will notify them of my offers. And then remember, after they get the template, they get something else from you that they might buy. So that also brings them into your world. So you can communicate with them what's happening in your group. If I'm doing a giveaway or launch, send out an email to them, let them know, that kind of thing. But again, most of them, I would still redirect them to the group. So most people in my world would have had some connection in my group. And I promote my group in other groups so that people whom it appeals to would now come join the group, and it grows that way.
Now, we were talking earlier with Ellen about the name of the group changing. Did you personally change your name as you got to know your ideal audience for it, or was it always exactly what it was?
I have changed it. The beauty of it, my group has always been Thriving Business Owners, right? And lately I tagged on and entrepreneurs, because I've sensed that some of my clients identify with being a business owner, others identify with being an entrepreneur. So my Facebook URL is Thriving Business Owners, right? The name now is Thriving Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. And what happens is, depending on what I'm promoting, Facebook allows you to change every 28 days or thereabout. So I may change the latter end of that to reflect what I'm working on.
Well, I think that's a really good idea because it's kind of a dynamic thing based on the people who are attracted to your group. Because I know that just like Ellen, I was really resistant. I called my group after my company, which is focused on tech done for you. So it's services, but it's limited because I can only work with so many clients. So, I mean, it created a little bit of a problem when I first created my community because I was hesitant to change the name. Like I didn't want to, change too much. So I think eventually I added solutions so that I didn't necessarily have people joining expecting me to give them free advice all the time, because then it's just a burden. So we have to be kind of like decide what the balance is between giving them tips that would be helpful to get to know you better and engage, or is this going to be just a place where people want to get your services for free? Like you don't want to do that.
No, and it's not about you. It's about creating a space where you feel they can come and get answers, not just from you. Because you shouldn't be the one doing all the talking. And sometimes it takes a little time to get to that stage, but people in your group should be able to answer each other's questions. And then you provide answers, when you're doing your training and so on. But if somebody asks a question, somebody else can answer or like the person's comment, that kind of thing. You're creating a space for the interaction, not just for you to be a mouthpiece, but for people to be able to engage.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip because I think that's probably the biggest takeaway I had when I first created my group, because it was a little bit of a drain because I was doing a lot of work up front to create the posts and the engagement, and then it felt like it really wasn't paying off because I wasn't sure if it was working, if they were seeing it. And then eventually, I think as I grew it, people started to engage more. So how long would you think it would take, and it might depend on different niches, how long do you think it would take when you are first creating a group to when you might get your first client from that group?
It depends. The thing is, I didn't know how to do it at first. So when you don't know how to do it, it will take longer. However, if you have a structured way and a system, and if your group is named to pull in the right people, it will take much shorter. It will take much shorter. By the time maybe you have 150, 100, 150 people, you should be able to monetize your group. Even before, once is the targeting. The targeting is so important. And the structure of how you deliver, how you present, all of that creates. How do you pull people, for instance, out of that Facebook world, into your space, so that you can then connect with them otherwise and promote your offers, what you're doing, and so on. So it works.
Well, I absolutely agree with that. I think that it's very important to have the right balance, so that you are attracting the right people to your group, people that you enjoy interacting with online. So,
and people who need what you're offering.
Yes. Now, when you created your freebie, the freebie that they get in your group as your right after they welcome to your group, did you have that freebie before you created the group, or was it something that sort of evolved as well as your group got bigger?
It evolved because then I began to know, and I began to get the right answers as to what people were really challenged by. And as that evolved, I said, this might work, and I'm finding that it's doing really well.
So at the end of that freebie, maybe on the last page of it, do you have a call to action to maybe book time with you, or do you wait for later in the sequence?
I varied, but what my next step is actually an upsell, which is right now. Recently, I changed it. It used to be my Facebook groups, Jumpstart Your Facebook Group video. I have a series, Jumpstart Your Facebook Group. I had run a challenge, so now I've put that into some videos and created that as an upsell from my dream client template, so people can pick that up for $7.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you mentioned, at least to me, that you are starting up a new program. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, and the program I'm looking at is your Monetize Your Facebook Group program. It's going to be 5 weeks. And what I will be helping people to do is actually get it right, looking at the naming of the groups, if they already have a group, and if they're just starting off, what should I name my group? It all starts with knowing who your dream client is. So we start off with that. And then we look at your Facebook group settings, how you should set up your group for success. We also look at how you bring people into your group, and then how you monetize your group. So it's a 5-week program that I'm going to start in the first week of September. So the Monday is the 31st. Is that next week, Gina?
I think it might be maybe the week after.
It's actually next
September,
week. Next
week. Yeah, it is next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Next Wednesday.
All right. So I'm starting the Tuesday. No. 1 moment. I'm starting 8 days from today, the 30th. Okay.
Okay.
So, but
yes. So that is the 30th is next week. So
right.
yes, very soon.
Doing it that week. So it'll be 5 weeks from then. So people will sign up and be able to actually, if they haven't had a Facebook group, get their Facebook group started and learn how to pull people into their groups, invite people into the group so they attract the right people, and actually grow their group and monetize it. So it's a 5-week program. It will look at, they would perhaps get a video and then Q&A calls, a combination for the 5 weeks, so that they can monetize the Facebook group and grow it.
Very good. Well, yes. So if somebody's interested in taking that, should they just go to your Facebook group, the Thriving Business Owners group, yes. Or should they can they also email you?
They can email me. However, everything for me is in my Facebook group.
Okay, so I'll give that URL. Yes. I'll also put it
yes.
in the replay email. So it's facebook.com/groups /Thriving Business Owners. So that is the group, and it is free. So you'll see Eunice and probably get to know her if you join that group. I've enjoyed being there at the time I've joined.
Make connections and grow with us. The business owners who really want to grow online, grow a business online. And so we help each other out.
Awesome. So do you have any final thoughts? We've gone over a lot of things. We answered some live questions. What do you have as a final thought to leave with people?
Final thought is start or grow your Facebook group. That's where it is now.
Very good. You have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere, and it focuses your energies. It brings focus to what you're doing. Yes. That's one of the things I think I love most about it. It brings focus to my energy, because otherwise I was like all over the place. So once I had my group, everything takes place in there.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Eunice, for joining us from the Caribbean. I'm here in Blackfoot, Idaho. So it's so nice to have spoken to you about this. I'm grateful for all the tips that you shared, and I will be sharing the replay. Please feel free, if you know anybody that's will use this information, go ahead and pass it on and get to know Eunice. She's awesome. Yeah. All right. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Have a good week.